To me, it is haunting to have this fallen piece of rosebush in hand. I saw it beneath the plant and away from the others, below its natural state, I guess. I feel it is hard to understand without heavy investigation. So at first, it was a reminder of home, an object that I could have something in common with, but I wanted to find one unattached. As it fell, it probably turned upside down and around. Its silence and seemingly unwanted detachment is what haunts me. Physically, I don't think it could bloom unless it was propagated. Without propagation, and with its removal from its origin, I think it will exist physically only for a little while longer. Maybe past the end of my stay. But theoretically, it can start anew and become a bird or a worm or a new species. It can be food, a catalyst with kinetic energy. This haunting, fallen fragment gives way to something. Its silence is like a body stretching in its sleep. It knows a slight readjustment is needed.
It felt very crispy, filled with ridges. It also had grooves, tips and cracks. It is a portal of very tiny little creatures, which is why you will find no animals in, on or around it. They got sucked in and transported to a dimension ruled by roots, non-roots and foods. But I don't know more details because humans are too big to fall in. I was drawn to the function of all roots because they all speak to each other and stick together, and I find it beautiful. I admire the connection of trees, so smart and empathetic. And it felt 7% wet, 90% dry, and 3% portally. My foot got a chance to see it up close, and it was also impressed. I think it wanted to step on it. This is now a permanent memory.
I found this little plant when I was walking in the bushes with the black and white dog Lucky, who was accompanying me. We were in a mood of discovery when my eye fell upon this little green leaf, and I immediately knew that it was the one. I didn't smell it, I only touched it, and its texture was very soft and tender. I don't know its name. I'm actually very bad with the names of plants. And I don't think it needs to have a name. It was just very nice to have it. I felt happy when I saw this little green leaf. How do the plants feel anyway? Like, do they feel some sort of sadness when they are picked up from the ground? I am generally attracted to details, I can say. My eye falls on details and patterns. But not always. I am more inclined to notice details in things that interest me. This little green thing, I have never seen it in the place where I live. For sure not in Athens. Maybe it would grow somewhere up in the fields of mountainous Turkey, but that's not the place where I live. It does remind me of another object. It reminds me of the feather of a peacock, like these peacocks that we saw in this interesting place in Lamia with the bad food. It's not easy to describe this little green leaf, but I think I would say it looks like a feather, and it looks like velvet. It was really nice that my eye just fell on it. I didn't look hard for it. It was there waiting for me when I picked it up.
Hitting, 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 hitting. Release. Who is there? The space is open. Is it big enough to spread the wings? Are the wings spreading over those next to me? Do I need to shrink to be able to fly? Is it a protection or a limitation? There is chatter, there's playfulness. Play, 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 hit. I am the space, we are the space. The space is us. Do we know that we can go beyond it? Are we watching from the inside or from the outside? Are we being observed? With what kind of eyes? The space is shrinking, and the hitting, the wings, the flapping defines our boundaries. It is our choreography of how we come together, how we find space and make space for each other. Sometimes it hurts and sometimes it's very warm. Sometimes both. Is this a shelter or a prison? The wind is our friend. The wind is everyone's friend. Do birds see us as birds? Do birds see other species? Or are we too clumsy? Are we too big or too small enough for them? Do they judge us? Are they even curious? Maybe they don't see us. Do they feel our nervous system? Or do they observe our presence? Are birds more just than people? Hitting, flying, 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 spreading wings, picking up air, embracing air, making wind, wishing wind, becoming wind.
I didn't choose them by like which one is more photogenic than the other, or more representative, or love me or not. They really were chosen just with consideration of like the less damage that can be created. And yeah, like this is kind of the site from there where we're picked are actually commemorating something. These flowers grow on the spot where Luna, the oldest dog in the house, was on leash and chain leash for almost 10 to 11 years in a barrel. So, and she was never unleashed from there. She was fed well, but that was her circle around that tree, like maybe 1.5 or 2 meters of chain. The tree on the photo still have the chain engraved in the bark because I couldn't remove it. It has it in its bark and I couldn't remove it, so that is the actually object that I couldn't bring with me, that it's telling more about the history of the place. In 2020, I removed all the wires and chains from there and unleashed her. So that whole circle was like a muddy area without any grass on it because she was circling around. That was the only place, the only space that she had. So now it's overgrown with flowers and with grass. And yeah, so this is some kind of like commemorating site to the one
beautiful transformation that happened and that changed someone's life, like Luna's life. She's now free and unleashed, and she has a house with a roof and everything made, and has like 2 more companions. So her life is completely different.
Yes, it's often me in the projection of others, but descended from that image. It descended from that image. It didn't bite. We were both at work, so probably there was that common understanding. There was no chasing, it was rather observation, and it went quickly, with at least the intention of no disturbance. Probably is not with us in the room, because here there are no flowers. There were no hard feelings, maybe fascination and speed. I would like to have a band together. We would just zoom into little things for others.
So beautiful.
Bravo, baby, bravo.
Don't worry, cutie.
You will survive.